Hello and welcome back to the channel. Yes, we have a 911 again. I don't even know where to begin. So as always, my videos are all about the experience of the car as an average Joe. It's not about telling you how the car performs and all that. It's about just telling you what an average person feels like when they drive a car like this. If you want to watch a review of the specs of the car and how it performs and all those things, there are plenty of other YouTubers who are very good at it because it's their full-time job to create car reviews and adverts for big companies. And my videos are about what's it like to own one as an everyday normal Joe who is not a race car driver. He's not going to tell you how this car performs at 70 miles an hour on a right-hand bend down the road, blah blah blah. So let's stop here and we can talk about the car. Oh, well done. I switched off the engine, and because the car is on an incline, it automatically applied the handbrake. Whoa, very clever. Didn't know this feature. So let's talk about the 911. You know that I have been a Porsche fan for many years, and I got really cross with the Porsche dealers in the UK, and I decided to move away from the brand. And in all honesty, there's nothing wrong with the cars. The cars are great. The company is great. It's just the sales and the after-sales service. Not so much the after-sales service, actually. I've never had a bad experience with that. It's just the salespeople, and the internet is flooded with those videos about people complaining about the UK Porsche dealers, so I won't go into that. But I decided after a couple of years that I really missed the Porsche and I needed to get one. I wasn't really enjoying the Ferrari at all. I made a video, which I will link up somewhere, that talks about the number of issues I had with the car. I wasn't just feeling it. And nothing against Ferrari owners, I'm sure they enjoy it, but everyone has different requirements from a car. Everyone has different feelings that they get from driving a car. I like German cars because they transmit the feeling of the road, the engine, the chassis, the drivetrain, everything. You feel how the car is driving, where it is. Whereas for some reason with the Italian car, I didn't feel anything. The steering was the worst thing. It was so loose and so light. You didn't feel like you were connected to the road. There was a complete disconnect when you were driving and you turn. Yes, it was very direct, as the experts call it, that it did what you wanted it to do and it was precise, but you didn't feel the road. Also, the chassis is very long. Imagine this is a speed bump and the car would go over it, the Ferrari, the front wheels would go over it, and then it would go flat, and then after a while the rear wheels go over it. And it felt very unnatural, maybe because I've owned Porsches and they're shorter wheelbase, because in a Porsche you go like that and then the rear wheels go up, so you have this experience rather than bump, which always felt very unnatural. But maybe it's the chassis that wasn't stiff enough. Anyway, we're not talking about the Ferrari here. But I wanted to get a car that would tick all the boxes, because every time I took the Ferrari, I missed the RS4. When I took the RS4, I missed the Ferrari. So I decided that I should pick one car that does everything, and I can go on my European road trips and to the south of France or to Scandinavia, which I love doing, and the car would be an all-rounder. Many of my viewers would say, oh, why did you buy a four-wheel drive? Because I'm not a race car driver. I'm not a journalist. I don't want to tell people how amazing it is to have a playful rear-end car. I want a car that makes me feel like a good driver. It complements my driving style and keeps me safe. A four-wheel drive car I can take it to the Alps, south of France. I can take it everywhere. I can thrash it on a track. I can go to a snow-covered mountain and be comfortable and safe. Whereas a rear-wheel drive, even with winter tires, it's not a good idea to take it to the Alps or anywhere. So this is a four-wheel drive, as I've been talking about it for a while, that I want a four-wheel drive because I'm not an amazing driver. Yes, I've been driving for several decades, but I'm not an expert. I don't have nerves of steel. I'm just an average Joe. So let's have a proper look. As always, the back end of the 911 is one of the most beautiful things. It's so wide and perfectly shaped, the curves. The only thing I am not sure about is this badge. I'm going to have it removed because it's too much going on at the back. I think just the word 911 should be sufficient. Right, I think it's time to go for a drive. The best thing about this car is the drive. You can forget about all the gizmos and everything. The best thing is the way it drives. It feels like you are in control and the car is listening to your every need and every move. When you watch videos of the journalists and the experts, they will tell you all the performance figures and how the car handles around a corner and all that, but 99% of the people who own these cars are just ordinary people like me, and they don't take the car out on racetracks every day to experience it like a sports car. This is a daily driver for most people. And what is it like? What is the little feeling that you get when you're driving from, I don't know, 0 to 30 miles an hour? Because that's what most people do. And the thing with this car is, somehow I know exactly where each wheel is, what the car is doing at any given point. I don't have to look at the gears to know what gear I'm in. Even though it's an 8-speed car, for the first 6 gears, I know what I'm feeling. You put it into sport mode and suddenly the car becomes snappy and very responsive. The other good thing they've done is it starts downshifting as you start braking automatically, which applies engine braking and enhances the experience of slowing down. Every corner you take, every move you make in this car, it rewards you and tells you what it's doing, how it's feeling, how it's behaving. It is such a lovely experience that you don't have with other cars. Porsche as a brand, as a manufacturer, has nailed it so perfectly. Every other car I've driven, I've never felt like it's wowing me. This car wows me every time I get into it, and it's not the only Porsche. Every Porsche I've owned, I've enjoyed it, except for the 718. The car was very good, the chassis was good, but the engine, the sound was just gutless. And that's why I didn't really keep it for more than 3 months and got rid of it. But otherwise, it was a very nice car to drive. I made a few videos about it when I was having fun. When you put it into sport mode, instantly you feel the car has somehow developed more power. I think the throttle response becomes better, the gear shifts become better, the sport exhaust opens up, and you get this. It has those little burbles at the back, which are a bit bizarre. The thing is, the sound isn't what it used to be of the old 911s. They sounded very nice and throaty, and even my 991.1 GTS sounded pretty good. This one sounds a bit gutless, but it drives really well. And what they've managed to achieve in this car is to remove that turbo whistle that 991.2 had. It was really annoying. Every time you accelerated the car, you heard the turbo whistle. It made you feel like it was a diesel engine with a turbo spooling. This car, it has the sound of the suction, but it's a good sound. It doesn't sound awful. When you accelerate, you can hear the turbo, a little bit kind of sound, but not bad. Even the GT2 RS has a lot of turbo spooling sound, whereas this car doesn't. And the best thing is that the four-wheel drive system allows you to accelerate without losing power. Because although it's rear wheel biased, when you accelerate, if the rear wheels start to lose traction, the front ones kick in and pull. So you can feel that the car gives slightly, but then it will fix it and go fast. You can be playful with the car. If you want the rear end to skid, you can do it, but you have to change the modes. So once the weather is a little better, I will go out and make some more videos with the drone and things and show you how this car looks when it's driving, because with the Heritage Edition decals on the car, it looks very nice, especially when it's driving around.